Don't just show people what you do. Teach them what you know.
You have the power to be the boss of your own life. I'm your host, Monica Allen. I'm a wife, mom, entrepreneur, best-selling author, lifelong learner, and your biz bestie. I have a love and passion for all things small business. Growing my own company from $700 to over 7 figures annually, my goal is to bring you inspiration, business-focused topics and tips, encouragement, and a community that helps you launch, grow, and scale your business, whether you are a dreamer, a side hustler, or a seasoned entrepreneur. You are listening to the Become Your Own Boss podcast.
There's something I've been thinking about in my own business at Zeus Closet. Like many businesses, we spend time showing people our work. We post pictures of really cool embroidery, custom designs, finished products, and things we're proud of. And there's value in that. People need to see what you can do. I want them to see our amazing capabilities beyond your basic polo shirt. But I recently realized something. Showing people your work and educating them about it are two different things. And if all we're doing is showing the finished product, we may be missing an opportunity to demonstrate just how much expertise goes into what we do. This really hit home for me because of a customer interaction. Truthfully, I didn't face this customer, but a couple of my team members did work with this customer. There was some confusion about embroidery. The customer had a particular idea of what embroidery meant, which made me realize that seems obvious to us as professionals may not be as obvious at all to our customers. Embroidery isn't just one thing. There are different types, different techniques, different applications, and different reasons why you might choose one approach over another. However, it is all embroidery. And the customer did not realize this. But how would a customer know that if they are never taught that? Let me just throw in a quick aside. We do go over the different types of embroidery when someone is inside our studio, when they come into the store. But this experience led us to create a reel for Facebook and Instagram called What is Embroidery? Now, we've been doing this for over 20 years, and I've never thought about doing a video with this simple subject. And the interesting thing is, it's a pretty basic question from my perspective. I work with this every day, or I've been working with it for a number of years, for many, many days. I'm not in it as much as I used to be, but I've been doing this a long time. And that's exactly the point. What seems basic to me or you may be valuable to your customer. As business owners, we can become so familiar with our industries that we forget how much we know. We sometimes assume customers understand our terminology or why one option costs more than another. We assume they understand the difference between two services. We assume they know what questions they should ask. But often they don't. And this knowledge gap is actually a marketing opportunity. When you educate prospective customers, you're not just giving them information. You're showing them that you understand your craft. You're showing them that you're an expert at what you do. Think about your current marketing. Maybe you're a baker and constantly post beautiful cakes. Maybe you're a contractor and post completed renovations. Maybe you're a photographer and you share amazing photos of objects or food or people, places. Maybe you're an accountant and post reminders about tax deadlines. And all of that can be very useful. But now ask, what am I teaching people? Instead of only showing the finished cake or even your process in decorating it, explain why certain designs cost more. Instead of only showing the renovation, explain how to recognize quality workmanship. You can walk them through what you've done that exemplifies that. Instead of only sharing the photo, explain what goes into creating that image. That's where your expertise becomes visible. Education helps differentiate your business. Your competitors can post pictures too. They can run ads, they can offer discounts, they can say they provide great service. But your experience, knowledge, perspective, and ability to explain what you do are much harder to duplicate. And you don't have to give away all your secrets. You don't have to give away your secret sauce, as they say. You simply need to help your prospective customer become a more informed customer. Because when someone learns from you repeatedly, something starts to happen. When they have a question, they think about you. When they need advice, they think about you. And when they're finally ready to buy, there's a much better chance that they think about you. That's authority. They trust the expertise you have been showing them over time. Here's something I want you to do this week. Write down the questions customers ask you. Not the questions you wish they would ask, but the questions you actually hear or things you find yourself explaining. Then pay particular attention to misunderstandings. When somebody says, "Oh, I thought that meant," or "I didn't know you could do that," write it down. Those moments are telling you exactly what your customers need to know, because if you have one asking a question or saying they thought something meant something else, then you probably have more out there that's thinking the same way. Pick one of those things. Pick one of those questions, one of the things that come up for you, and create a piece of educational content around it. It could be a 60-second video. It could be a social post that's a carousel. It can be an email, a blog article, a frequently asked question added to your website of frequently asked questions, because I'm sure you already have that. But just in case you don't, then you have an opportunity to add that to your website as well. It doesn't have to be complicated. My example was simple. It was a reel, and it started off on the top cover says, "What is embroidery?" What's your version of that question? I have some other ideas too for some additional information we can share in my business at Zeus's Closet. I have always leaned into teaching when it comes to business ownership and the podcast, but not so much in Zeus's Closet, not in my first business. And that's about to change. I think there is an important distinction here for all of us as business owners. Your knowledge is part of the value your business provides. And when you consistently share some of that knowledge, we give prospective customers another reason to see you differently from the competition. It gives them another reason to trust you as well. This week, take a look at your marketing and ask yourself, am I only showing people my work, or am I helping them understand my expertise? That might be the beginning of an entirely different content strategy for your business. Didn't necessarily know I was going to talk about social media content and things like that this week, but it came up for me in this interaction with this customer. So I thank her for that. And I thank you for listening today. I'm grateful for you. This week's episode is brought to you by the Simple Life Assessment. Every entrepreneur needs an occasional reset. Sometimes we can really get bogged down with work. In just a few minutes, this free assessment will help you identify where you're thriving, where you may need to recalibrate, and how to live with greater intention. Take the assessment today at simple.monicaallen.com, or you can see the link in the show notes, and start becoming the boss of your entire life, not just your business. Also, before you go, take a moment to rate and review the podcast and share it with a fellow entrepreneur. Share it with 2 or 3 fellow entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs. This really helps the podcast grow, and I would definitely love to reach more people. Remember, don't just show people what you do. Teach them what you know. Show them you are the expert at what you do. And remember, now is the time. Now is the time to level up, leave a legacy, and become your own boss.